Welcome back to the channel, guys. Owner Arna is here, and today I'm going to talk about how I built a 7-figure Instagram empire in just 1 year. Let's jump straight into it. So first of all, who am I? My name is Owner Arnas. You can check me out on Instagram, 19.2k followers. I share some cool stuff. And this is my page, 1 million followers on Instagram, called Passionate Income. You can check it out. I'm not hiding anything. The engagement is great. I've been running this brand for the past 4 years, all right? So this is my introduction, and I'll tell you step by step what I did to build a 7-figure empire, okay? And now I'm filming this video for some reason. So I started taking content in 2020, okay? 2020, a weird year. It was a weird year, but you know what? Everyone was sitting on their phones, including me, and I was scrolling on my phone all the time. And I was like, I see these meme pages, I see these theme pages on Instagram. How did they do it? Where did they find the content? And I started researching, analyzing the pages, trying to understand what they're doing, right? And I understood one thing, that they're doing the same thing that they were doing in 2016, 2017. Like nothing has changed, right? And I was like, I wonder if there's a way to grow this bigger and better, because everyone's using outdated strategies. I mean, there must be something new in a matter of like 3 years, because literally, if you go back to 2020, the content on Instagram was so bad that if anyone had some better content out there, which is not like copy paste templates from Fiverr for $5, then they were growing insane. Like at that time, I remember Page at Wealth was growing absolutely insane because they were, making content that was actually interesting, and plenty of pages. So I realized like there are pages which are creating good content, doing something different than everyone, and they're growing like crazy. And the pages who are copying each other, they're still growing. So I was like, let me jump into this, let me try this out. And in 2020, November 27th, I started Passionate Income, okay, almost 4 years ago. And I looked into it and I started doing what everyone else was doing at that time. I was just starting to repost the same completely terrible content, which was like copy paste of the same exact template, same exact wording, like no sources, no trying to improve, nothing. I just started, and that was enough for me to kind of start improving. I was also engaging a lot with people. I was going on bigger pages. I would follow people and I would expect them to follow me back. Then I would message them, just do a bunch of engagement, like farming, stuff like that, which, okay, in 2020, maybe it didn't work that well, but it still worked compared to today. Today, like it can work very well if done right. But what I was doing, like follow for follow back then, today it doesn't work at all. And I realized one thing. TikTok was pretty new back then. And content on TikTok was going parabolically viral. And Instagram, to compete with TikTok, they released Instagram Reels in 2020, right? And I was like, this Reels thing, it's kind of new. No one's talking about this. No one's uploading Reels. Like, I kind of don't get it. And I was like, let me try to upload a few Reels. I uploaded a few Reels and nothing happened. I was like, oh, it's probably like not working, because Instagram algorithm is just like, if you don't have followers, you're not gonna get views, right? So in the first 25 days of starting my page, I hit 800 followers just by doing all the engagement farming. But you know what? One more week later, when I had the page for 32 days or 33 days, I hit 20,000 followers. Yes, you heard that right, like 19,000 followers in a matter of a week from 800 followers. So how did I do it? I didn't give up on the reels, and I was like, let me upload some reels that I actually think are good. But let me take very viral videos from TikTok, like extremely viral, that I really like, and I had an eye for it, okay? I knew what's going viral or not because I was just sitting on my phone scrolling all the time, okay? I was pretty much addicted to TikTok, and TikTok was still in this weird stage where, like, back in the day, if you still use TikTok and you scrolled on TikTok, you're kind of like weird. Like, what the hell are you doing scrolling on TikTok? You know what I mean? Now it's like completely normal. Like TikTok is the main go-to platform for most people. But back then, it was kind of weird, and I was scrolling and I knew exactly what's going viral and what's not. Like I could take a look at the video without any engagement. Like if I couldn't see the likes or the comments or anything, I would know if that video was viral or not. That's how bad it was. Like I was scrolling all the time. Obviously, 2020, the year was crazy, so I was just sitting on my phone. And I blew up. One reel just I uploaded, it blew up. I was like, oh, crazy. Okay, let me figure out how to kind of start making money from this. So I started working on a $17 ebook, okay, to make my first money and just to have proof of concept. I'm like, okay, now I have the followers. Let me prove myself that I can make some money from these followers, and then we can go on from there. So I realized I need to sell a product, and I didn't know what to sell. I didn't know if it's gonna work, so I was like, let me sell a digital product. I've heard about digital products before. I didn't know anything about like ClickFunnels or anything like that, about funnel building, about like nothing. I literally built a website on Shopify because that was the only website builder I knew. Because before that, I did some drop shipping, okay? It wasn't super successful, but I knew how to build like a sleek website, very nice themes, like everything. I knew exactly what to do to make a website look great on Shopify. So I connected everything. Also, like I didn't know how payment processors worked or anything like that. But I had some sales from Shopify. So I was like, let me just do it on Shopify. I know how this works. Let me figure this out later. And I made my first $1,000 from selling that ebook. And I was at 20K when I decided I need to sell an ebook. By the time I released it, I had like 50,000 followers. Okay. So I was growing parabolically. Like I was going so viral because reels were a new thing and there was zero competition. So I was just reposting like already viral stuff. Obviously it was going viral. Obviously I was getting insane views. I was getting like 10 million, 5 million, 20 million. Like every other video would go viral, like absolutely viral, because Instagram was pushing reels like way harder than they're pushing it now. They're still pushing it today, but back then, like the feature was new, so no one was posting on reels. Even the pages weren't posting. Later pages caught up and they were like, oh, reels are the new thing, let us do the reels. But basically I made my first $1,000, and by the time I made my first $1,000, and it took like a month, I was at 100,000 followers. Okay, and so it took no time because like reels were going extremely viral. I was collecting followers all along the way, and I knew I was onto something. Okay, I was like, okay, now I made my first $1,000. I have 100K followers. This brand is not like a meme page, which I didn't want to do. It's not like a makeup page, which I had no idea about. It was like something I was actually passionate about. I liked it. It was in business. I was like, I know business niche is great, because I heard like before I watched some courses about ecom, and like niche was extremely important, right? What niche are you choosing? Are you going general or are you going niche? And there would be like general stores and then niche stores, right? General stores, like a bunch of different products, and niche one product stores where it's like niche down, they're selling one product. That's it. So I knew that niching down into like one audience was extremely important, but I still had no clue. But I was like, let me keep doing it, and let's see where I can get to. And I was very interested in networking. So I started like talking to different business owners, reaching out to them. They started reaching out to me, because they saw the page. They're like, yo, can you repost one of my reels? I want that exposure. Because like I said, every other reel would go like 1 million, 5 million, 10 million. Like it was going crazy at that time. And yeah, these business owners started asking me if I can promote their product as an affiliate, or I could promote them, or if I could repost stuff. So I built a circle around me of very influential, business owners. And a lot of these business owners, they weren't like gurus. They were just like, back in 2020, a lot of people were getting into social media, but they were coming from a business background. So they really knew how to like network and stuff like that. So I learned a lot. And I chose one program to promote as a 50% affiliate. And it was a guy with his brother, and they were running theme pages since like 2014 or something. It was they had one of the first fitness theme pages and stuff like that. Like they blew up a lot of influencers. They blew up Gymshark. Like they worked with Gymshark. It was like crazy. And these guys, two guys, reached out. They were like, "Yo, we have this product. We'll build you a funnel. Just promote it. It's our own product. 50%. Here you go." And they were very nice. They were very nice to work with. I still had that limiting mindset. My data sets were very bad. But you know what? I made my first like 2K just by posting a few posts. I remember I was finishing high school and I had like my last exam. And before going into the exam, I posted like a promotion for that offer, which they sent me the post, they sent me everything. They were like, just put this link in your bio, post this, it's gonna work. And I was like, I don't know about these guys. I don't know if they know what they're talking about. And you know what? I come out of the exam like 2 or 3 hours later, pull out my phone, and that post has like 42,000 likes. I was like, what is going on? The post started going viral, and it was like a promotional post, but it was really good. And I made like $700 that day. I was like, whoa, I just finished high school pretty much because I knew I'm going to pass. So I was like, I just finished high school, and the first day I'm making like $700 a day. And I didn't tell anyone. Like, I remember I was like in a car with my friends just after the exam, like refreshing. I was like, what is going on? That's absolutely insane. But yeah, like I said, I had a limiting mindset. So like knowing what I know today, back then I would have kept just posting and milking this as much as possible, trying to do a bigger partnership, trying to sell something more expensive, right? But back then I had such a limiting mindset that I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin my page, let me stop promoting it. So I made my two grand in like a few posts, and I was like, okay, I stopped promoting. And I kept networking with people, and I met like this one guy who was working with big brands, stuff like that. I was like, you know what, man? You need to show me how you make the money. So we had a few calls on FaceTime. He was like, man, your page is cool. If you can teach me how you do this Instagram thing, I'll connect you with the people you need to be connected, and you can actually make big money. I was like, let's do it. So I helped this guy to grow his Instagram. He was big on TikTok. I helped him grow on Instagram, kind of helped him make some money on Instagram. And in return, he connected me to people. By the way, this guy that I taught, he ended up selling his company to like a bigger company and making a bunch of money, which is crazy, But basically what happened is he connected me with like a big business, and I started promoting that big business. I got like an exclusive deal, and I also like I was in a bad situation, let's say, at that point of my life. I really didn't feel any motivation to keep going. I was like an 18-year-old making a bunch of money, and I didn't know what to do with that money. I was scared to spend it, and then I was scared to make more, and I had everything I dreamed of at the same time. So it was such a weird feeling for like 9 to 12 months after making my first 10K, which I hit after I started working with that big business. And I hit my first 10K 10 months into starting Passionate Income. So November 27th, 2020 was when I started. And like around September, October-ish of 2021, I made that first 10K. I still remember to this day, like I was driving in a car, right? And I'm driving and I see a call from a US number, and I'm not from the US. And I know that to call like outside of the US, it costs them a lot of money. So I was like, it needs to be something important. And I pick up the phone. I'm like, yo, I said the guy's name. I was like, what's going on? And he's like screaming into the phone. He's like, bro, you just made $2,000 from this one post. I was like, what? I just froze because I used to make like $2,000 a month. And then I made like in one post 2K. I was like mind blown. I couldn't believe what was happening. So that's how I made. I just kept posting the same post, and I made 10K. Like I only needed to post it multiple times and a few stories, and I made it happen. But it was so weird. I built this huge business very quick at an early age. I had everything. I moved out of my parents' home abroad. Like I was living on the beach, chilling. 18 years old. I was like, this doesn't add up. I felt very weird, let's say, for the first few months after making that. And that was 10 months into the journey and 13 months into the journey. Okay, 13 months and a few days. I remember it was probably January like 2nd or 3rd of 2022. I hit 1 million followers on Passionate Income. So like a year and a bit in. And that's how I built a 7-figure empire on Instagram. All right. So if you like this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and shoot me a message on my Instagram at @ownerarnes. And I'll see you in the next one.